This man right here, David. Gawd. David is the 90-day goud. David is the man. David is the guy worth following. David, I believe, wears a wig. I don't think he's got one strand of that hair that you see is real. I don't think so. Doesn't look like it to me. David is deeply, deeply in love with Lana. Lana is that hot young something that's next to him. She is in her 20s. She is from, I don't know, not Russia. Lithuania? I don't know. Some other country. And he's been talking to her online. David has traveled to meet Lana no fewer than 4 times. And every time he has gone all the way to her neck of the woods only to be blown off. He has never met her. He has traveled to her 4 times, and he has never met her in person. But he still talks to her because they're deeply, deeply in love. He can't, one time she had a loved one die. I think one time she got cold feet. I think, there's many different excuses. Ukraine. Thank you, Sal. Thank you, Derek. Ukraine is where they're from. He went all the way to the Ukraine 4 times. He got blown off every time. But he keeps going back because she keeps promising to meet up with him. Now, they've been chatting together for 7 years. 7 years they've been on a dating app together chatting. This is the woman of his dreams. You're probably saying right now, why are they still chatting on a dating app if it's been 7 years? Well, David and Lana only chat on the dating app because Lana is too shy to chat on her cell phone. When you use the dating app, you have to pay per minute or per sentence or whatever it is. Every message is paid for. David has spent over $100,000 talking to Lana on this dating app because she won't just text him. She won't just WhatsApp. WhatsApp is free. As long as you got the internet, you could just use WhatsApp. But everything that they do is through this dating site. It is so painfully obvious what's going on. There's literally no evidence that there's anything besides what you think is going on. They have video messaged each other before, but I don't think they've done any live video chatting. I think they've just sent videos to each other. And if they have done any live video chatting, it's very, very suspicious. But David has said she has a weak connection. So that becomes very, very difficult too. But David's in love. And David will stop at nothing. So David goes back to the Ukraine, where he has been promised that they will meet up. David travels back to the Ukraine, and Lana is going to take a train into the main city, several hours away from her place, so that she can meet David in the main city. David lands in the Ukraine. He goes to the train station, waits a couple hours. Lana does not show up. Last train comes. Lana does not show up. There's no Lana. And of course, David can't talk to her at the train station because he's got to get back to a hotel where he can get Wi-Fi so he can use the dating site because they have not exchanged phone numbers. So David goes back to the hotel. No answer from her. So he decides to drive to her town. It takes him many hours. He has to go through dirt roads. He rolls a flat halfway through, which who knows how to change a flat tire. But it takes him like 9 hours to drive there. He gets a hotel in her hometown because he's saying, this time you're not blowing me off, lady. And that's where we meet up with David.
I'm in Ukraine to meet my girlfriend, Lana, because we've never met in person. Lana is beautiful. She is the girl that I've been wanting to marry for many years. And
My God, I don't blame you. Look, I get where he's coming from. I understand the attraction here. If you convince yourself that that's real, the last thing you want to do is come to terms with the fact that that's fake. It also doesn't help that the producers interview everybody in the Ukraine that he tells his story to. Obviously, they're saying, hey, mention to everybody that you come into contact with that you've been talking to this girl for 7 years. And everybody that he tells the story to goes, oh, no, there are many Americans in the Ukraine looking for women. It's a scam. They all say it's a scam.
out of my mind.
I said hi. She says hi, hi. I said hi, honey. So I said,
So she's getting back to him now. Hi, honey.
wow. You know what I usually say when I see her. And she writes,
Oh, that's their love language. You know, Ash was talking about love languages. Wow. That really, it's not even a photo. Hi, honey. Wow. I just woke up. Ha, good morning to you. Slept well? Clearly. Just madly in love with each other.
good morning for you. I'm excited. I feel like she's my Lana again.
I mean, that's where it drives me crazy. She just goes like, hello, good morning. And he's like, oh, there she is. My Lana is back. Those are the sweet words I've been waiting for. This is what, like, and people feel sorry for the guys getting scammed. But look, let's not pretend that you fell in love with, where is she? Let's not pretend that you fell in love with this girl right here because of her sweet words. Let's not pretend it was because she says, hi, good morning, how are you? Oh my God, no woman has ever talked to me like that. Let's not pretend you have some deep connection that none of us will ever understand. You got a hot Ukrainian chick talking to you, okay? That's what it is. Hi. Oh, he's waiting for a response from her now.
I am in Pavlograd. Can you meet me for dinner or lunch? She has slow connection.
The producers of this show are brutal. Just brutal. They know what they're doing. But she agrees to meet him. She says, 2 p.m., I'll meet you at this restaurant. You could see. This is the Suckers booth. It's reserved for suckers. He's got red roses. I don't know why he bought 9 red roses. I don't know why 9 instead of just going for the dozen. I don't know if he was trying to save on 3 roses, but he bought 9 roses, and he sets them up at this table, and now he's waiting for Lana, who's going to meet him there at 2 p.m., and he's going to get to meet the love of his life in person, finally.
I've been waiting for Lana to show up since 2 p.m. And I'm starting to get nervous that all of this was for nothing.
Starting. 4 times. 4 times he's been to the Ukraine and she's blown him off, and he's just flown home never having spoken to her. So he waits there for 2 hours. 2 hours. And nothing. Know your worth, homie. So she doesn't show up. But he's got one more option. He's driving.
Right now.
Wait till you hear this.
Knock on her door.
So, a while back, she sent him an address to send her flowers. He mailed flowers to her. He's got the address. He saved it. Of course he did. He's going to her house to knock on her door. He's going to find her right now. Listen to that music.
There's a chance she is going to be very angry. But she's got to understand that she left me no choice.
Yeah.
She stood me up. I need her to tell me what we are doing with this relationship.
Okay. He's found the apartment.
This is scary for me.
Scary for all of us. I mean, that looks like something out of Hostel or something. Okay. He's ringing the bell. Let's see. Here she is, Miss Ukrainian. What do you guys say? Oh, I can't wait to see her in person. What? Anatoly.
Her name is Lana.
Oh, that's not Lana. That's not Lana at all.
She has been my girl for 7 years.
He's sitting there going like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. What? She ain't here. Good for you, I guess. He knows. He knows what the deal is. He's trying to talk to him. He can't. I mean, this is like, talk about lost in translation. And he's sitting there trying to figure out how does this hole in my heart get filled when there's no person here and I can't even talk to you. I don't know what the hell you're saying right now, dude.
Я живу с 95-го года. Я таких не знаю. Ну и образ
He doesn't know
её-
anyone like this in the building.
е-
She
её
doesn't
нет
live there. There's
такой.
nobody like her here, he says. So poor David, he goes back to the United States. But last night, we got an update. David hires a private investigator to try to get to the bottom of why Lana keeps blowing him off. Private investigator says, this seems like a scam to me. He goes, so you didn't do anything? I mean, to his credit, I'm with him on the private investigators. Because he hired a private investigator in the United States, and then the private investigator gives him nothing in the U.S. He starts talking to Lana again. He gives it 2 weeks. He starts talking to Lana again. Lana goes, and he goes, look, we got to do something here. I'm coming back. We got to meet. Enough is enough. She goes, okay, we can meet. So he goes back a 5th time to the Ukraine. This time, though, he's wearing his leather trench coat. This time he goes with leather trench coat confidence and goes in for the kill. Nothing is going to screw him up this time. He shows up. He gets there on a Friday. He gets a message from her in the dating chat, and he goes, well, she just said she can't see me until Monday. Today's Friday. She said she's got to go to her nephew's hockey game, so she can't see me till Monday. So he's already sitting there going like, what rigmarole are you putting me through now, Lana? You got to be effing kidding me. He hires a private investigator in the Ukraine to really get to the bottom of this. He brings a translator with him. He goes, what's the deal with her? And this private investigator, who clearly, I mean, poor David, just has sucker written all over his forehead. Because the private investigator saw him coming a mile away. The private investigator did absolutely no work. I had all the information that the private investigator had, and all I've done is watch the show. Private investigator goes, I don't see why, if she loved you so much, she would go to her nephew's hockey game. And he's like, what are you, my buddy or a private investigator? Yeah, I know that. You're supposed to find out why. He goes, well, I think it's a scam. He goes, what are you talking about? You haven't done any private investigating. He goes, well, so he fires him on the spot, which good for him. That I supported him. And he finally has a meeting time. He goes, Lana, you and I are going to meet under this monument. Me, you, together. It's happening today. And last night's episode ends with this. She showed up. David and Lana are together. Love is real again. Then you can see him in his leather trench coat. That's what did it for him. Love is real. They're together. We got no explanation as to why she blew him off 5 other times. We got no explanation as to who won the hockey game. We got no explanation as to why she can't use her phone. But it doesn't matter. The point is, he put on his special cologne just for Lana. She showed up, and she is there. This is the greatest love story ever told on television. This is incredible to me. When you see something like this happen, you go, Big Ed who? What difference does it make anymore? Love is real because Lana is real. Do you understand what this frame, just this still photo, do you know what this does for the Ukrainian scam dating business? Oh my God. Everybody's going to think they're David. Everybody is going to think they're Lana's out there. Do you know the Ukrainian air travel business? As soon as we are done being quarantined, do you know the amount of people that are going to be okay flying back and forth to Ukraine 5 times because they think they've got a Lana waiting for them? The things that 90 Day Fiancé has done to the Ukrainian economy cannot be understated. People are going to be sitting pretty. Look how happy David looks. Don't you want the good guy to win sometimes? He's sitting there. He's got his leather trench coat on. He's got his wig on. But he's got his girl. And this girl is there in her turtleneck and her smart coat, which David paid for, I'm sure, with all that chatting. And now I'm locked in, man. I'm locked in, and I can't wait to find out what happens next. Lana is real. This might be the greatest twist in all of television. It was the biggest surprise ending I could have possibly predicted. I don't think one person watching that show saw this coming. It looked like the only reason David was on was an exercise in humiliation. The only reason David was on was so that we could all feel better about ourselves. But last night, we watched the dissolution of Big Ed's relationship. We watched the destruction of Jeffrey and Varya's relationship. We watched more evidence that Williams never existed to begin with, Yolanda. We watched Darcy try to build herself up from rubble. We watched Lisa and Usman continue to fall apart. We watched Stephanie and Erica collapse. We watched Ash and Avery do horribly together. And the one relationship that was left, the only thing that remained, was the one sure shot scam. This will never work out. David's only on this show to be laughed at. That's the couple that ends up together. That's the couple that ends up proving love is real, and you can find it in the strangest of places. And that's why I watch this show. Twists, baby. Twists around every single corner.